Welcome to a game between fahx with spiders and an engineer commander. And he's going against Steel Blue, who requested this replay, starting with Rovers. And he's going for a strike commander. And he starts decently economically, and on this map you should usually start fairly economically on this map, because it's far away to the enemy and he has a lot of mexes to claim. I think that rubbers are a fine choice. And yeah, spiders, they're a bit iffy, they're slow, only venom and fleas are kind of fast. I mean, fleas are really fast, but really light, so they're easy to defeat with scorchers or even darts. And venoms, they can cause a bit of problems for scorchers, but if you're in defense, you shouldn't have problem or trying to surround them, or even going for fencers is really good against spiders. Like, if you go for fencers, you can sort of counter the whole spider factory. Fencers are fast, they can move to different positions, and can be in the right places. And venoms struggle to keep up on since they're the same speed. So if you're just paying attention and have radar up and know where the venoms are coming from, yeah, you can do a lot of fencer spam against them. Here you do the first scouting. It's nice to scout with darts so you know what the enemy is doing, and you can see some venoms come out. And yeah, if you're good, you can keep out. You should be able to track the number of venoms and try to match your expansion and defense with this. So you try to see how many venoms the enemy have, and this is a really defensive start, you could say, from fahx, but it could turn offensive when he goes forward with his venoms. So now that now you should have seen that the enemy has 3 venoms, and that's a lot for a starting point. You only have 4 scorchers. It's about the same amount, but yeah, the venom's gonna take longer time to get across the field, and yeah, venoms are really good in defense, and to the offense you typically need 2-3 of them in a bunch to actually start doing stuff, or otherwise they get surrounded. And this is actually the first time that fahx is starting to make more econ and starting to expand there. This is expanding well with his commander, and you're kind of slow. I don't like this compat. When you see that the enemy has 3 venoms, yeah, I think you did the right thing here and get out 2 more extra cons so you can start expanding faster. I like that choice. You probably wanna, yeah, this dart here is good. Maybe you want to dart here to see if the enemy have it on patrol or something, to see where the venoms are coming, so you don't get surprised by venoms going to this hill or something. Yeah, I don't like this compat because, yeah, com is slow, it's how fast it is, 43 speed. Rubber con is 69, it's a lot faster. It could get faster. You don't really need 10 build power to build this. You could feel scared against venoms, if you go up across the hills. Yeah, they could be scared for a con, a lone con, but the enemy hasn't done that. I mean, if you keep track of the enemy, you should be able to know that the enemy doesn't have that. So yeah, I don't like this compat. I like to go here like this, fahx is doing with his com. Prefer that compat. So yeah, and you have a fencer there pushing with scorchers. That's a good choice. And here you have a lotus turret just in time with a scorcher. That should be pretty safe against 2 venoms. Yeah, this is dangerous for the venoms to engage, and you can also just support with more darts and more scorchers if you could, because they're fast. I don't like dominatrix here. The enemy should be able to see that and start retreating before they lose the venom, I think. So I don't like this choice. It's slow. How slow is the dominatrix? Yes, 58 speed. It's so slow. I don't like the choice. That could be fencers instead. That causing fencers would definitely be able to keep your base safe. And you're kind of trying to go slowly here. Maybe if you had snuck in here while the enemy's out of position, you could be doing that. Meanwhile, yeah, you get 1 venom, so you could say that the dominatrix pays off there. Meanwhile, you're not paying attention here, so you lose your fencer. And yeah, having a few fencers together with scorch is a pretty good combo. But now the fahx overstays his welcome and try to spread out, and you can just kind of surround it and force it back. Sorry, my throat hurts a bit, so I might cough a few times. So this is kind of the right choice. You want to focus load support before the venom gets here, but you're not spread out now, so now the venom can punish that. And your raiding kind of failed. You got 1 mix. A little bit of failure, but you're still heading cost. Um, so yeah, you make 2 Lotus Turrets there. A bit much, I think. You could keep a Scorcher there instead of darts. Yeah, like, yeah, it depends. If the enemy should you spam a lot of fleas against robbers? They can be annoying. Fleas can be annoying, so having 1 or 2 Lotus Turrets is fine, I guess. I would try to prefer to keep track of them with darts or something and see if the enemy has a lot of fleas incoming, but yeah. Now we can feel pretty safe about that area and it's not going to be really threatened by anything. Meanwhile, yeah, with your expansion, it's pretty even. Did you start accessing? You access a little bit here, not very much, and you got your economy going. But that's still 700 metal that you haven't spent, that you could have been spending. But yeah, pushing like this, yeah, this is like the spider player is gonna struggle a bit against this. You should, yeah, just fight move like this against the enemy. It's pretty annoying for the spider player to counter fencers early game. Getting crab out of this map is really hard. It's a lot of value. Hermits are decent, but they're also slow, so you can kind of surround them and do stuff like this. So this situation is looking pretty good. If you just focus fire the red back, you're fine here, and don't lose too many scorchers against his against the red back. You should be fine. The venom is here. Why you should really, it should really be in here too. It should really send it in. You don't want it to turn on you if you lose the dominatrix. It's easy to lose the dominatrix, so just send it in. It's better to stun a few units, lose it, than risk it being reversed again. So that's a bit of a blunder here. And yeah, dominatrix A is annoying, so if you use fight move, they're gonna like run around in circles and not do much damage. And here you managed to kill the redback, but the hermits are kind of like going, still managing to get to one of your fencers here, and you should, yeah, this redback is really low, you probably want to finish it. Instead you choose to go here instead. That's a decent choice. You might be able to overrun that redback, it's a bit risky, but you get 1 more hermit there. And you still haven't sent this, you finally send this, and you choose to suicide it? Might have gotten that redback. I mean, you're risking it a bit, but yeah. Yeah, better safe than sorry. Don't want to let that redback turn, but you could have used it earlier. Here's just run redback. If you get it, you should be able free to like skirmish against this. This is good usage of like fencers. You skirmish with the fencers and you keep the scorchers. You prevent them from getting overrunning you. You should probably go in here and kill the redback instead of retreating here. I don't like this decision to retreat here. You could probably kill that redback, but yeah, you're doing offensively well, and then you're trying to raid here as well. That's the thing you can do with oh, it's so derpy dominatrix. Oh, you get a red to lose that. Yeah, your dominatrix is paying off really. Can you get that redback? Yeah, finish off the hermits is kind of annoying because you will take some damage on your your scorchers there, and now you choose to retreat. Yeah, this army is kind of notified. The small army there, you can push this whole side. You're letting the enemy get away with getting a stinger here, which is kind of bad. Like, if you had been using your fences here, you could have been preventing that. The enemy's getting a sneaky venom through, getting some damage there, killing a mech, not a big deal. But yeah, you're letting the enemy get a stinger up here. I think that should have been totally preventable. You should have you had enough fencers to prevent this stinger from going up. So that's a bad thing, to not be able to keep track of the enemy commander and not being able to prevent the stinger from going up. You could still try to surround it, just send all your units here and try to kill the commander before the army joins up with this. So now instead you're gonna lose quite a bit of units here, not paying attention to where they are. So yeah, and now you're a bit spread out, you're a bit unfocused, you're killing some solars, you're fighting half measures with this army, you capture a unit, doing some damage. You're a bit distracted here, you should really try to refocus here. And you're losing, yeah, this thing is starting to pay off real bad because you're sending a few units there and dying to it. So you're not using the mobility advantage of your robbers, and you're losing units piecemeal. You're still making good trades behind this. But yeah, if you don't pay attention, you can easily lose a lot of units because you get overwhelmed at position when you could just reposition your whole army. You still manage to keep your dominatrix alive, so yeah, it paid off. But now you get your calm caught out of position against a slow against a slow spider army, this shouldn't happen. Like, you should be able to foresee this happening and run away your commander before it gets run down by recluses, hermits, and redbacks. So yeah, that's kind of bad. Really unnecessary. So yeah, you're a bit unfocused here and losing a bit of units here. How's your eco? The enemy has dedicated some to eco, not that much. You're starting to excess again. How much are you excessing? You're going... Yeah, I don't like... You just have a few cons, you don't have any caretakers, so you maybe forgot to build them. I don't really like the harpies, they're not going to do much. Getting a few in defense can be alright, like the enemy's trying to raid you with venoms or redbacks, and you slow down the redbacks and kill them and then finish them off. Sorry. That's fine. But get an army like this composition, like the recluses will hit you a bit, if you get too close to redbacks they will hit. Sorry. Even hermits might hit you. But yeah, this is what you should be doing. You should be able to like outmaneuver the enemy, and then you get like these. You get to these really user recluses here, and you can set them on fire at will here. Meanwhile, you're also going here. So yeah, finishing off these recluses is really nice. And you're just advancing with mostly fencers, and yeah, fencers are really tricky to deal with for the spider bot player. Yeah, and you have some scorchers there to like reinforce that. You could also be thinking about using Ravagers if you have the time to repair them, otherwise Scorchers are fine, but if you have the time to repair them, yeah. And here you're not managing to like being able to retreat here, so this is a totally unnecessary loss. If you had retreated earlier, you would have like no losses. What's the range of Scorchers? I think it's higher than it's 260 versus 240, so if you just keep the Scorchers between the Venoms and the Fencers, yeah, the enemy can't run down your Fencers because they get kited by the Scorchers, so yeah, you shouldn't really lose a battle like this. You should really be using this mobility of your Fencer. This is the thing that this place is annoying you, now you're scared to go back here. If you had control of this position, if you had forced him out, he's trying to fight over here at two fronts at the same time, and force him out of here and just take the losses and kill the Stinger, you would have been able to more freely retreat back there. Now you're again fighting with too much small force, and you're gonna lose units unnecessarily. And yeah, like if the Hermits and the Redbacks are taking most of the damage, the Recluses are still gonna do pretty well. And he's even sending them back to repair. It's quite far back to repair. And yeah, this position is giving fahx too much map control. You really don't want to let the spider player get a forward position like this, because it restricts the mobility of your units. And here you have your first. You're gonna put your first harpies you use. This is like 3,000 verge of harpies. Like they took a while to get here. You could have been using, for example, Phoenix to bomb the redbacks and recluses, and they would have been doing decent damage by this time. Instead, you just kill your first units with the harpies, and you're gonna try to raid. Like if you don't go for raiding, should you go for other units instead? Like enemy makes a few AA units, and the harpies gonna struggle to get them down. Yeah, you kill a few Lotus turrets, you start losing harpies, the enemy made some AA, and you're just trying to chase it down. You're not gonna get the base with this. What's the DPS of harpies? It's like 44 real DPS, and the rest is slow damage. You're not gonna be able to base rush a base with harpies. That's like the most useless case for a harpist trying to base rush the enemy. You get a few caretakers, and that's it. That's like the worst use case of harpies trying to base rush the enemy. Maybe you're gonna be, but meanwhile you're losing frontiers, so if you use your harpies in conjunction with your fencers here, you could have taken really good trades, and you can send the harpies to retreat on like 30 or 60%, and you keep them all alive, even if they take stray shots from a few redbacks or hermits or recluses. You will lose none of them. So instead of killing this army with your harpies, you basically donate your harpies to the enemy. At least I guess you're making the enemy excess a bit of metal. Let's see how much the enemy excesses. But you're also accessing yourself, because you probably forgot to, you don't like, yeah, you have a repeat queue, yeah. Should you go for Badgers? I mean, the Spire players will really struggle to kill the Badgers. Personally, I don't like it. It's kind of slow. If the enemy's using Hermits, the Hermits are going to soak up most of the mines, and Yeah, before you get a critical mass of batters, it's gonna take a really long time. You can slowly kill the stinger with batters, but yeah, it's slow. And yeah, this is a thing that harpies can do pretty well. If the enemy is caught out of position and the enemy is all the way back here, you can punish the opponent for free basically and kill the frontline units. But you're not being too. You should really be following them more. So yeah, now the enemy is caught up and you haven't really killed them when the harpies. The harpies was. Should I say the harpies lost the game? I mean, you were basically fighting this the wrong way. You were pretty even on metal use, metal economy, army value, value killed. You were ahead. No, it was pretty even actually. Yeah, pretty even most of the game. So yeah. Yeah. The enemies even go for firewalkers, which will counter the badgers and fencers pretty well. So, I mean, firewalker is a pretty good choice. I mean, on a big map like this, you probably be able to bomb them with what do you call them, shadow. Uh, yeah, the bombers basically. What are they calling them? They changed name. Yeah, but basic bombers, ravens. Yeah, you could be bombing the lone firewalker with bombers or something. But yeah, now you can see the enemies pulling ahead. They have a lot of more eco, a lot more total value. You lost a lot of value there with the harpies. They didn't do much. Yeah, you maybe made him excess a little bit, but it really wasn't worth the effort. Yeah. And now you're countered or countered by the firewalker. You might be able to get the firewalker here. So that's a nice thing you can do if the enemy is exposing themselves. This is also a thing, if the enemy is going for a slow unit composition, you might be able to punish them with your fast units. So yeah, that's why I think that spiders aren't really competitive in this map, because the unit composition are too slow, and you can outmaneuver them with like what you call them with rovers, or you can start bombing them before the enemy gets to like halfway to the map. You can start making phoenixes and start bombing their frontline units, recluses and redbacks and venoms, and then when the enemy gets AA to the front finally, you can just avoid areas with A and try bomb other stuff. So yeah, I don't like going for. I don't really like this gunship switch was really bad. Harpies didn't pay off. They can pay off in defense. They're pretty good against redbacks. They outrange redbacks. Let's see. What's the range? You have 360 range versus redbacks 300. So they're pretty good against redbacks in defense. But yeah, trying to go for the enemy base is just pitiful because you have so low DPS for DPS. Should you go? I'm not sure if you want to go for Locust. It's the same thing, the enemy can counter them also with Venoms and Redbacks, and AA still counters them pretty well, so... But at least you get faster if you actually raid the backline. I'd say Locust is better. So, yeah. Yeah, so you really should try to divide and conquer more with your rover, or we never engage them. Basically, you should always choose engagement, you should always choose favorable engagement. Even 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 fencers match the speed of the venoms. So, and if you just have some scorchers, the enemy you can kite with the scorchers, and the venoms can't really run down the fencers. So yeah, you shouldn't really lose. You shouldn't really you should always be ready to retreat against the enemy. There's nothing the enemy can do if you just have few fencers and scorchers. You can always choose engagement. You can always retreat. And given a position left for free like this, getting a stinger up is, yeah, you shouldn't allow that. You can even consider getting a paler just to get rid of this position, but you should also just consider to sacrifice to get, like, by the time when the stinger got up, you had a lot of fencers out here on the map, fighting small battles, not really focusing on anything, and the enemy was going out here with a big ball of units, and you could just refocus all their efforts with the fencer here, cleared up Stinger, killed the Stardust, and then just And then you will just have free reign, you take the sacrifice, you can start reclaiming with cons. I don't think I saw you reclaim much. Metal reclaim, yeah, it was fahx that did all of the reclaiming, basically, and so yeah, you could start reclaiming or getting a few more cons. You had a few cons that were idle in the base. You could have built caretaker things, start reclaiming. The gunship switch was pretty useless. You can harpies are alright in defense, but in offense they suck. So yeah, you should, even against spiders, why not? Shouldn't you always want to go Phoenix instead? They're much faster. You make by the time you had 3,000 value of harpies here, yeah, you could have been bombing the. Could have made several bombing runs on the recluses and redbacks. You want to avoid fighting too much over venoms and redbacks because you take damage, you might get stunned. So you want to like work on the edges if there's a lot of redbacks and venoms, and try to get the recluses if they're exposed, and try to get several recluses in one volley. You might not kill one recluse in one shot, but if you're using fencers, it really matters against the recluse if they're damaged, because then they can't really fight your fencers. So yeah. Because any unit composition is going to be slower for the spider player, it's really that should be shooting the engagement and avoiding bad engagements. And fences are really good in this matchup for that reason. You can just choose the engagement, support with Ravagers or Rippers or Scorchers, and just dominate the game and get out some Phoenix, and the enemy is gonna just be outmaneuvered by the Phoenix and have all the rubber players. So yeah, those are my tips for you. Good luck and have fun.